G'day everybody, it's me again. Building this little office PC for a friend, so I thought I would show you guys how I'm going to do it. It's using a Gigabyte, I think it's H87, yeah, H87N Wi-Fi board. It's a nice little Mini-ITX setup, built-in dual antenna Wi-Fi, all the usual fruit, USB, HDMI, all the usual stuff. It's a very nice little unit. We've got a 4 gig of RAM for it, and an i5 processor. I can't remember off the top of my head which model it is. We'll have a quick look at that. So yeah, that's the board. It's a really nice little setup. Bluetooth 4 card included. It's very interesting, but going to be great for smartphones and stuff. RAM isn't anything special, it's just strontium, but this machine isn't going to be used for much more than web browsing and MyOb, so that's all good. It's the i5 4440. Never used one of these before, so it's my first adventure with an i5, but I'm sure it's going to be just the same as everything else. And we have a 240 gigabyte SSD. Now, some people may have something to say about using an SSD as the only drive in a machine, but this machine will pretty much never store information on itself, except for maybe some random Word documents which are unimportant. And these drives will last a rather large amount of time when used with Windows 7, so shouldn't have any issues there. Most of the information that this machine will be accessing is stored on another machine, so it doesn't matter if, well, it matters if it goes down, but you know, we're not going to have a particularly large amount of writes to the hard drive, so it won't be such an issue. Alright, next step is done. We have the CPU and the memory installed. Obviously the mainboard's been bolted in as well, and time to do the optical drive and the SSD. Now, something else I'd like to point out, even though this case was only about $65, that wasn't including a power supply, it seems to be a very well built unit. All of the construction is done with a toolless sort of design, so you can remove and install the optical drive without any tools. You can remove and install the hard drives without any tools, and even the case itself has thumb screws, so maintenance is very easy. Not that it's any good for an office situation, but if I ever need to go out and repair the machine, I know all I need to do is to take with me is a Phillips head screwdriver. It's got a front fan, it's got a side fan, and of course it will exit out the power supply for the rear. We will see how this goes. So far so good. And all the drives are in, cable management is semi-done. We have our front USB 2 ports, audio, USB 3, power and reset buttons, of course the optical drive. And I've started doing a bit of cable management here. Just tying things off so they can't really move and get into fans, or, you know, generally create an airflow mess. There is going to be a bit of a mess in here once the power supply goes in, because there's just not a lot of room to tuck all those cables, but I'm going to try keep them all as free as airflow areas as possible. Try and keep all the cables sort of not bunched up near fans, try and keep some air moving in this little thing. I do believe the case design is valid, I do think it will work, but trying to keep it as neat and tidy as possible inside, of course. One thing to note, the screws that hold the optical drive tray in are so close to the optical drive itself that I had to kind of sort of massage them in, if you understand what I mean. There's no clearance between the optical drive and the screw, so it's in there firmly. There's not a problem, it's not going to be an issue, but that's just one design flaw with this case that I've found so far. So far, like I said, it's a brilliant little case, I really can't complain. So I will continue the build. Another thing here is that I am going to have to use one of the old Molex connectors to power the front fan. I was hoping there'd be a second or a third onboard fan, but there is not, so that's just one thing, but that's okay. That means it's going to be on pretty much full speed the whole time. It's going to get plenty of airflow, which is good. Next I will power the thing up and double check everything, install the power supply, of course. That's, like I said, going to be a nightmare for the cables, because got the 24 pin there and then the 4 pin ATX down in there. Don't know if you guys can just see that there. So I'm just going to have to do the best I can with it. So let's see how I go. Okay, so the major part of the build is done. Now, What started out like the little redhead pocket rocket up the street has turned into a bit of a Miss Quartermain from form class because of all the frickin' wiring. It's giving me the shits. There is no better way really to run the cabling than I have. This side looks neat and it's all like nice and free, airflow is good and everything like that. But the other side is a bit of a jungle. Now, because of the placement of the 24-pin connector for the motherboard, I can't really put that fan anywhere else either. That's factory case placement. It's gotten a bit messy on this side. I've cable tied everything up as best as I can just to keep everything out of the fans, out of the CPU's way, and just generally try and keep it a little neater. But yeah, there's not much I can do with that 24-pin plug. That's where it has to go. That's where it lives. It's right next to that fan, so that fan's going to have a bit of its airflow blocked. But like I said, there's not much else I can do. I'm very happy though now, really. Yeah, I'll be confused now, okay? I'm kind of in the middle on this now at the moment. I've done it the best I can, and have to put the cover on and power it up and see how we go. Yes, I'm confident enough that I'll put the cover on and plug it in and then just power it up. Usually pretty good like that. We'll find out, won't we? Maybe he can have a laugh at me. Okay, so we've got everything hooked up. Belkin wireless keyboard and mouse combo, its own little nano receiver. Believe it or not, came with Energizer batteries. I'm shocked. That's the little Gigabyte Wi-Fi antenna. Fuck, I hate saying did it again. Anyway, it's plugged in there in the back, dual diversity, and I've got my Windows 7 Pro CD here ready to go. So we will press the power button. Oh, there we go. Sweet as. Something's happening. Oh, there we go. Damn. Alright. That started up really quick, I think. I'm still not used to some of these new boards, so they don't really have much of a BIOS screen as such. They just jump straight into operation. So we'll let that spin up for a second. Maybe I can connect. No, keyboard's working already. Awesome. Windows setup. Thank you very much. Now hopefully this will be a rather zippy installation, owing to the fact it's a well, brand new machine for a start, SSD only. So I won't bore you lot with Windows installation, but once it's ready and it's all the drivers installed and all ready to go, I'll show you guys the boot speed. These things boot incredibly fast. A modern CPU, modern RAM, SSD hard drive, you can have your machine ready to go in under 15 seconds. It's amazing. Actually, I might, yeah, I will. I'll wait until Windows is finished installing and then I'll show you that. Alrighty, Windows is finished installing, but I haven't actually installed any drivers yet, so we'll hit the power button. Somebody start counting. Generally I'd hope it'd be just a little bit quicker once the drivers and everything are installed, but I have a feeling this is going to be quite surprising anyway. I left the damn DVD in. Shit. That makes it at least 8-9 seconds longer. Oops. But wow, yeah, did you see that shit? That's incredible. And as soon as we stop spinning that, it's ready to use. Bloody incredible. Oh, sorry, epilepsy warning looking at the TV. God damn. Anyway, thought you guys might enjoy that one. Thanks for watching.